Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Faster Way podcast for another Coach Confessional. Lee Bergen, how's your new year been?
It's better than ever.
Really?
Yeah, this has been a great new year.
Oof.
Yes, I'm happy about this new year. What about you?
Lee Bergen.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have your positive
I
energy
got it.
on this
I'm
podcast.
going to put it on you. I'm putting it on you, Amanda.
January's been a very long year for me. You can maybe see the dark circles under my eyeballs.
Well, there
we'll
you
just
know.
we'll do a quick recap. And, we came out so strong. Remember we did a podcast like, we're back,
Yeah.
we're here. And then it's been like 7 weeks since we've been back on because just life knocked me down.
There's got to be a meme about that. There's got to be like, I'm coming at it full speed, and then there's the pothole.
My word for the year was unleashed. I unleashed something. I don't know what it was.
It's like your warm-up week.
Something was unleashed. No, I'm just, it's a theme for sure on the Coach Confessional.
Mm-hmm.
I am very sleep deprived, but it's okay. I have 5 kids. I'm probably going to be sleep deprived forever, but I'll tell you what's been going on. So, and then we're going to have some takeaways. So
Yes.
Biggest takeaways from this episode, we're going to talk about what to do when you're sick.
Yes.
So that's a little teaser regarding workouts and nutrition.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about protein, how to get in that protein.
Yep.
Okay, so Monday before Christmas. So we're going way back now.
Hey,
Monday before Christmas. I walk to my neighbor's house with all the kids for a Christmas party. Ty's complaining about his tummy as we're on the way there. I pick him up. And then I pass him to Brandon to hug my neighbor. And we've got all these neighbors and friends in the driveway. The second I pass him to Brandon, he just pukes everywhere.
Oh, right.
Just vomit.
Okay.
All over the driveway, all over Brandon. So I was like, and we're out. So I think he has the neurovirus.
Uh-huh.
So we leave, go back home. I end up having that night to go to a different party as well. But he, throws up for several hours, and then I think we're over it. Now, of course, I think the whole family's going to get norovirus. It's right before Christmas. Well, next day, everybody's fine, but Ty's still miserable. By Christmas Day, turns out he has flu A. Okay, and it knocked him out for 8 solid days. I mean, it was a bad one. So he got flu A. JJ ended up getting it. I very quickly got Zofluza, which is an alternative to Tamiflu. So I got it for everybody else, and the rest of us stayed healthy. And JJ with the Zofluza, Xofluza, she sailed through. Now, if you're listening and your family has flu A, Zofluza, it's expensive. Talk to your doctor about it. I don't give my kids Tamiflu because of the side effects. So I like Zofluza instead.
And Zofluza protects you from
Exactly.
it. Okay.
It prevents it.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, flu A, get through that. The next week, we just get a cold. Everybody gets a cold. We're still at the office preparing for the new year. And then Lily's birthday comes around January 5th. We do a little party for her Sunday, January 5th. And then Monday, January 6th is the first day back to school. She has her hair done cute. I do her hair. We put a little birthday hat on her. She's got a little birthday cupcakes. She walks into her classroom and pukes everywhere. Pukes everywhere. Right
on her birthday?
On the day after her birthday. She was so excited to celebrate with her classmates. So now she has norovirus. Okay, so it's the first day of the New Year challenge, by the way.
So what made you test her because you knew it wasn't flu A because you gave her the thing. Yep. So how did you find out that it was norovirus?
Because norovirus, typically it looks like an exorcism, when you throw up.
Projectile.
And I was like, yeah, this is different than the flu A vomiting. So I knew that was going to then just rip through the house. So that's the first day of the New Year challenge. I get a call from the school as I'm driving to the office. Lily just threw up, come back and get her. I was like, no. So that week, again, January 6th, Wednesday, 10:30 at night, JJ comes into my room and I go, you just threw up, didn't you? Oh. And I'm like, oh, so we were up all night with JJ. And then the 2 nights later, it was like 2 nights later. Oh. So over and over and over again. And then I never get it. Mm-hmm. Brandon always gets it. I never get hit. Well, I'm going to be hosting our top ambassadors from 2024 in Costa Rica for a trip. And wouldn't you know, the day before the trip, I get hit. So Tuesday, I get hit. I'm literally going to be hosting the top ambassadors Wednesday morning starting at 8:30. So I get hit. Just awful, terrible.
What, you don't remember what it's like because it's been so long?
I know. It's bad. I now remember it's terrible. So then I don't post on social media about it because I didn't want to freak anyone out who was going to be on the trip because I can't cancel the trip.
Well, yeah, I know.
They're flying in on Tuesday and I'm in bed all day.
Else,
no,
right? Oh my goodness.
It's me. Because I'm flying them down. I have to be on the plane to fly them down.
Gosh.
I'm the member of the beach club. So I had no choice. Mind over matter. So literally Wednesday, I'm like dizzy and nauseous. I pick them up at 8:30.
Oh my goodness.
Brandon, listen to this. We get in the plane. I'm eating saltines. Nobody knows. No one has any clue. I'm like just surviving. We land. I'm like, Brandon, where's the Zofran? He forgot his luggage in Tampa. He left it in the car and it had my Zofran and the hair tools. I was like, you are no help to me. This is not good. So,
and the Zofran's the anti-nausea.
Exactly. So that night, dinner at the Four Seasons, I was like dizzy, nauseous.
And I'm looking at all of your food and it's not like it's potatoes.
Exactly. Powering through it. Yeah, it was fish and
right.
So anyway, the next day after that, I mean, we had the best trip, but we were on zip lines. Zip lines 24 hours after you puke 7 times. 0 stars. Do not recommend. Do not recommend.
0 stars.
And I just don't want to tell them because I'm like, I don't want them to get freaked out.
Because then you can also get it into your head. Like, I feel like I have it. I feel like I have it.
100%.
What's the shelf life of this guy? Like,
so typically within 12 to 48 hours of exposure, you start to manifest symptoms. This one was like probably the same, but you're still a little contagious afterwards. So in my family, it just was drawing out.
Yeah.
Now I was washing my hands like crazy and I was, you know, I'm an adult, so I can make sure I don't spit on them or whatever, drool on my guests. So everyone stayed healthy. But I actually ended up telling them like the day after we all got back home, I was like, oh, fun fact.
By the way,
I had the stomach flu all day Tuesday because at one point, so I took Beth Chapo, who's been a longtime ambassador for literally since I started Fast Away, since the first round, basically.
Yeah.
I brought Britt Mullins from Eating Bird Food, who's a wonderful ambassador for us. And then Morgan Bullard and Drew, who were ambassadors at the beginning of 2024. And then Drew became a coach and Morgan's still his ambassador.
Yeah.
Well, at one point, I'm like so tired because I'm overtired, so I can't sleep. I'm nauseous, you know, dizzy. And then I start getting a sty because my immune system's compromised. He looked at me at one point, he's like, are you okay? And I just wanted to be like, no, I'm not okay.
I just have a hug, but I might drool on your
okay. I'm not okay. I'm exhausted, Drew.
Oh my goodness. Didn't Brandon get it a couple years ago, like over and over?
Yeah.
I feel like he had it for like a month or something. He and Cole kept playing swap.
That's exactly right.
I remember that.
But Brandon and I have opposite immune systems.
Yes,
so
that's good.
If he gets it, I don't get it.
That's good.
And if I get it, he doesn't get it. Yeah. So I got it this time and he didn't. He was the last man standing.
So you have to be on for your business, for your family, for yourself. Pretty sure you've been working out the whole time too.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you know, what are some non-negotiables for you then when you're sick like that?
Yeah.
Because your brain isn't stopping either. And the puppy, let's PS.
Oh yeah.
The new baby.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, which hopefully you're not because I look so sleep deprived. But yes, I do have a new puppy in my arms. He's my therapy dog, my emotional support, which he was just, oh my goodness. When I was sick with the stomach bug.
Oh, and there's just nothing worse.
Nothing worse. Every time I'd go to vomit, he was just crying for me. And then when I'd come back in the bed, he would just lick me and just snuggle in with me. Oh my goodness. I was like, truly, I was like, Moses, thank you. Moses, I love you. So let's just talk about workouts really quick because, you know, 2 things. So not only have I been sick with the stomach flu, but my immune system was just like hanging by a frayed thread for weeks after the flu A. I never got it, but my body was fighting it for weeks. You know what I mean? It's like I would expose myself to the germs and like kind of feel like a scratchy throat for a couple days and then I'd be okay. And then it would happen again. So I did keep working out, but here's what I typically do when I'm sick. I tend more toward strength.
Yes.
I tend more towards strength training. Now for my job, have to film HIIT.
Right.
But when I'm sick, I try not to do as much HIIT work.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my personal philosophy. Even if it's a Monday or Tuesday, if I'm feeling under the weather, I'll do a strength training workout instead of doing the HIIT workout. And again, I am the one that leads the HIIT.
Right.
So, if I'm saying that to you, take me seriously. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
totally.
Even Monday, Tuesday, I'll be like, okay, let me do the total body strength, possibly do a leg day. I try never, ever, no matter what, to miss a leg day. Even if I have to shift days around, no matter what, through the week, I want to get in a heavy leg day. Because it's just, I mean, the research now is so profound. Your leg strength correlated with your longevity.
Totally. I mean, totally.
It's
you know, and I'm thinking about you getting your workouts in, and I'm just making correlations, or maybe there's no correlation. But when we last spoke, it was about you cleaning up the sugar mess.
Yes.
From the holidays. So right at the very beginning of January, if, you know, people always say that not all people don't always say, but it has been said that flu season is just sugar, right? So this could be a combination of the sugar season just damaging your immune system for a moment. It's, you know, less than 70 degrees in Florida, which is crazy. So all of that cold at the same time. I wonder if it was a combination of both of those things. So how did your nutrition play into it?
Great question. I stayed so tight the first week of January, really, really tight. The second week was still doing well, got hit by the stomach flu. So then you just do what you can.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm having a little bit of chicken soup with pasta. I'm having saltine crackers. I'm like, I wonder if any of these bloggers are going to be like, oh, she just eats saltine crackers.
Wow.
That's her secret. I was with Amanda and she just eats saltine crackers. Now I know. That's the secret. No. I, was hosting the trip. So I eat really, really well in Costa Rica, but I did have like a couple desserts. Yeah. So now I'm like fully going to get back on track. Right. But that's really interesting. You are absolutely correct. Sugar tanks our immune system.
Yeah.
And so many kids coming back from break, man, they get hit.
Right.
I literally was like, they need to shut down the school.
Right.
They need to shut down the school. They need to disinfect the school. But yeah, it all corresponds.
It's all that inflammation. Yes. It's all of the things. And, for someone like you, you can eat a pound of donuts and no one would ever know. Okay. No one would ever know. So some people, you see that inflammation, it looks different. They feel ugly in their clothes. They're not having a good time, but you still are running on awesome. So it's not as noticeable. So it just manifested different.
That's absolutely true. I've never met a donut that did me dirty. There's some things that I'll eat, like just a little bit of popcorn, immediate histamine response.
Right.
But I really could just eat donuts all day and I feel fine.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back now. We had a running start. The treadmill had a little bit of, friction, but here we are.
Well, a couple times.
So because January is so long, you kind of have some built-in prep weeks, right?
Yeah. The first 3 weeks are just prep week. What do you do when you're sick? And you're rarely sick.
I'm very rarely sick.
Very rarely.
But every single sickness has led a lesson for me. So whenever I'm sick, which since I've known you, it's been twice in 5 years.
You got COVID
in 2021. In 2021. And then I think I might have just had I just had a rundown depression kind of in the fall this year. Maybe it was kind of hurricane time. It was just like, I'm over it. But I just felt fatigued, I guess. Yeah. But those times off have made me stronger. Like it's a forced break from the gym in regards to lifting heavy and grinding. And so I've always learned from them. But here's my rules of thumbs, all my thumbs. Okay. If it's in my head, if it's congestion, then I can do some cardio, I can do some movement, I can do some lifting. If it's a fever, forget it. Then I will just go on a walk if I feel like it when I can. But I agree with you. The strength training, I know I'm not going to make gains on my strength training days, but just finding that resistance, even if it's just holding a plank, that's still resistance training. But if it's from my neck up, I'm breathing heavy. If it's, something else, if it's nauseous, forget it. I can't do anything. I'm down. But it's really important to keep hydrating, which is hard sometimes, and also to keep your protein up. Protein is such a healing macro. Yeah. So that's when bone broth comes in. That's when I am making, some hot chocolate with our protein powder is a real thing. And some of those soothing soothing elements. The collagen, putting that into some bone broth is another way that will kind of heal my gut and help keep me feeling full, and getting a little bit of collagen protein in there helps.
Yeah.
For sure. Plant-based proteins, peas. I love split pea soup. That's a great way to kind of still, during the winter, get some protein in without eating meat all the time.
But these are really good rules of thumb. So fever, lay on your back,
That's
rest.
it.
That's very black and white. Congested, still, if you feel up to it and it didn't completely tank your energy,
Right.
get out there, go
Vitamin
on a walk,
D, yep.
do some strength training. I think that's really key. For me, you know, you are just, you're so fortunate. And someday I'm going to be superhuman like yourself when I don't have 5 kids living at my house. Yeah. But it's like, so often I'm just like, oh, I can tell that I'm fighting something. And if I rest today or take it a little bit more easy, then tomorrow I'll be fine. But if I push it, like I've gotten pretty good at listening to my body. If I push it, that's when we're going to start to have issues. Okay. So that's really, really helpful.
Vitamin C too. That's another like secret. People my mother's always like, take zinc, and it makes me nauseous. So I don't do zinc. I don't like it. And I'm sure there's other ways I can do it. I can take a pill. It's not in my routine, but I'll overload on vitamin C until it gives me digestive issues right before I feel like I'm about to get sick. And sometimes that'll take it too.
Speaking of vitamin C.
Speaking of.
We have vitamin C in our new creatine.
Okay. So can I please get 2 for 1? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Again, this is solution oriented, and I don't know what the science is behind creatine in your immune system, but it's not going to hurt.
Right.
And having that is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Burst.
I am obsessed with creatine right now because of the brain health benefits. Can't wait to have mine today.
And then have the vitamin C in it. I love that. That's one less step.
Yeah. Especially this time of year. Yeah. It's great. Okay. So working out when ill. I just wanted to address it too, because so many people the past few weeks are like messaging me, Amanda, I'm a VIP client. I have flu A. Should I work out? Amanda, I'm a coach. I have da-da-da-da-da. Should I? And I don't want you guys to push yourselves to the extent that you make yourselves more sick, but there can be benefits of movement.
Yeah.
When I'm sleep deprived, I'll still pick up weights.
Yeah.
You know, sleep deprived, just, you know, fighting something a little bit, I'll pick up weights, but HIIT is what I really kind of take.
It's exhausting. And the other thing too is picking up weights and having that resistance training is the most important thing. It's consistency over time, but recognizing that you're not going to hit a PR, that you're not going to lift heavier than ever, recognizing, okay, I did what I need to do today, whether it's 10 minutes, maybe it's just bicep curls. Maybe you're only getting bicep curls in. That's okay. But just making sure that you're doing something that doesn't take you further down the back road, I think is just really important.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Okay. Let's talk about protein.
Okay.
Protein. So you asked me about my nutrition. I've been staying on point, but the main thing is I'm minding my protein. Yeah. I'm eating meat sticks like it's my job. When I'm busy, I just texted Brandon a few minutes ago. I'm like, can you bring me meat sticks just to even get those 12 grams of protein? So let's talk about your favorite sources. We've done a few trainings in the past where we've spoken about it, but I want to hear like morning, noon, night. Yeah. How are you getting in all of your protein? That's going to be really educational for us.
So again, I said that this year has been better than ever. And I think it's because I have been beyond survival mode. Like, okay, now let's thrive. So on a low carb day, it's what our meal guide is. It's bacon and eggs. Okay. For lunch, it is something salmon. Okay. It's a fattier meat. It's a grass-fed beef. Dinner, it's another fattier meat. So I'm looking for high quality protein sources that do have fat. I'll also have a smoothie in the evening with some peanut butter or almond butter, and that'll help. On a regular macro day, that's what I'm doing: Canadian bacon, peas, and egg whites. So I'm breaking my fast with a pretty high protein, probably 40 grams with that. And then I will go into leaner meat cuts, maybe tuna, maybe I'll do some lean turkey. And then for dinner, I'll go into some chicken. But this is how I batch my protein. And maybe I've told you this before. Okay. In 5 days, I've got to eat 16 ounces of salmon. I've got to eat 16 ounces of grass-fed beef. I've got to eat 16 ounces of 99% lean turkey. I've got to eat a dozen eggs. I've got to eat 12 pieces of bacon. I have this in 5 cans of tuna. So I buy this It's already weighed at the grocery store. I don't need to like weigh it. If I'm finished with it all
So
by Wednesday,
helpful.
I'm overeating. If I still have some left over by Saturday, I'm undereating. So I budget out my food. I buy it already. I've got 5 days. It's got to be gone. And then I know I'm on track.
Oh my God. Okay. That
Yeah.
was actually so helpful.
Yeah.
Say it again. So it's like in the 5 days.
So in the 5 days, so my fattier meats, grass-fed beef, okay, ground beef. It's kind of half chewed already, so I don't digest it so much. It's not a steak.
Yeah.
Salmon, 16 ounces of salmon, 16 ounces of 99% lean turkey. Okay, so that's very low fat. 16 ounces of white meat chicken, that's very low fat. So I'll alternate between that and some cans of tuna. And then I have a dozen eggs. So I've got to get them in, whether it's egg whites or it's the yolks.
Yeah.
Bacon, and then I love Canadian bacon. And then I fill it in with peas and broccoli and squash and potatoes and all of those things. And I eat more carbs on my lifting days, which is what we do in the faster way.
That is actually so helpful.
Yeah. So I don't have to really track in the post,
much with
consumption.
The protein. You're like, I just know in 5 days.
I gotta eat
this,
it. I got this has to be gone. And I've been doing this for 30 years.
You have never told me that. My mind is blown.
It works for me.
Oh,
it works. And then
gosh.
I can kind of graze all day.
Yeah.
I'm not, because we are so busy filming and doing, I'm not so consumed. I'm like, I got to eat this by the end of the day. And if I eat too much at one time, my stomach's going to hurt.
Okay. That is so helpful.
Yay.
And then you have your protein powders at night.
Yes. And in the morning too, sometimes, people are always asking about my fasting window. If I've got 2 workouts here, then I'll have protein with my coffee on the way into work, and I have no qualms about it.
Yeah.
So in the morning and the evening, I'm okay with a shake.
That was so helpful.
Yay.
I'm like, oh, that was like a light bulb moment for me.
It's already weighed.
In ChatGPT, because like right now I'm following the meal plan.
Sure.
But once I shift away from following the meal plan, I'll just use ChatGPT and I'll say, let's call it, I'm going to have 130 grams a day. Yeah. So then I break that up over 5 days. And then what protein is needed. And I'll just only buy that.
Totally. So I'm not eating nuts. Nuts get me in the wrong place. Yep. Like some of these snacky foods,
high in fat too.
Fully, which is just going to break my budget. So I just stick with the meat sources, and that helps.
That was super helpful.
Yay.
Okay, you do that. I've been traveling a lot, so I got my meat sticks. I don't really do protein bars so much, more so protein shakes and the meat sticks, I would say. Our protein is so bioavailable, so I really like it. But that was so helpful.
But when you're traveling, you go to restaurants too.
Oh, yeah.
That have high quality,
absolutely
fresh food, right? Do you take to-goes with you a lot of times?
Yeah. I go to the buffet and get a to-go box. Are you kidding me?
There you go.
I'm at the Four Seasons. Brandon's like, what am I over there?
Listen, I have Four Seasons.
I love a to-go box. I'm like all about that.
Good.
What is it called? Cajita para llevar, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
A small
it's a case
box
to go.
Cajita. Yeah. I might have just totally botched that, but somehow they know what I'm saying.
I think you might have said cheese to go or something.
Yeah.
Caja para llevar. Yeah.
Yeah. But I say cajita. This is like a small
and then
box.
A cojita,
cheese. Who knows? they somehow get it and give you a box. I'm going through that buffet. Putting my sausage in there.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Super, super helpful. I love the protein talk. We are going to get back on the bandwagon.
Let's try this again. Let's try this again.
We got some guests coming up as well.
It's exciting.
Yep. Yep. It's, 2025, man, tried to knock me down, but could not knock me out.
That's right.
Here we go.
I love it. Let's go.
Yep. All
Unleash.
right. Unleash. Okay. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone.